It's time to get all your Star Wars news in a single file. From Fantha Tracks TV, this is Good Morning Tatooine!
Good morning, Tatooine. Indeed, we're back once again. Sunday evening here with, this time, your monthly recap of everything Star Wars. We're going to be talking everything Star Wars Celebration, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and looking forward a little bit to May the 4th. So, important pieces first, and the graphics aren't working, of course. How great start of the show. We'd like you guys to jump on, like, subscribe, ring the bell if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit like, hit follow, share the content, and most importantly, comment throughout the show. We'll bring your comments into the show as much as possible. And joining me for this monthly recap, my friends from Fantha Tracks, Mr. Mark Newbold and Mr. Matt Booker. Evening, guys.
Hello there.
Evening.
So how is things with you guys? It's been a busy week, a busy month. Go, Matt. You go first.
Don't poke me, Newbold. Ow. Wrong way. That way. Comedy genius. Yeah, all good, man. Been a bit murky this last week, but yeah, picked up and raring to go. What's happening?
Yeah, Mark, what about you? What's happening in the world of Star Wars?
Still getting over my stupid COVID cough that I can't edit out of a live show. But other than that, yeah, celebration planning and prep. Star Wars Fun Days next weekend, so looking forward to that. Yeah, I've been changing. You can't see it on the camera at the moment because I've changed the room around, so it's all over the place. But yeah, all good fun. Nice graphics, very good.
Yeah,
very
graphics
good.
Coming there half an hour late. tech wonders there. Well, we can throw them up because there's a lot of work going into them. There we go. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. You like that? That's very flash. Let's start off and let's talk about May the 4th. As I like to call it, May the 4th. It's Money Day.
You want to dance for the money? We dance for the money. Dollar.
Definitely.
Ready money round.
Well, I haven't had to dance for it.
Yeah. May the 4th be with you. Obviously, May the 4th is now Star Wars Merchandise Day. Is there something already announced that you guys have seen that you've got your eyes on that you'd like to buy? No, Matt's shaking his head there.
I really like the Luke's Land Speeder in Lego, but I have nowhere to put it, so I'm not buying it. But it is really cool.
Mr. Newbold, have you spotted something?
I've got that Lego set to build, but it'll probably take me longer than it is until May the 4th to get it built, but I'll give it my very best go. I like a cure to this cough. No, nothing specific. It's like you say, it's gimmick Star Wars Day, isn't it? It's the big celebration day. It's the hallmark Star Wars Day, really. So I guess people celebrating it, having a good time, looking forward to all the stuff that's coming throughout the rest of May, really.
Yeah, and it's normally a day where we see a huge wealth of product launches from new vendors as well.
Yeah.
So
who's that one in the clothes? Vera somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the handbags and stuff.
Yeah, all
Vera
the sort of,
Bradley, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, Vera
That's it,
Bradley.
Vera Bradley. Sounds like some lady out of Some Mothers Do Have Them or Last of Summer Wine, doesn't it? All that Vera. Whoa.
But it's become something commercialized, which is why I threw up the money for the laugh.
Yeah.
But it does sort of center focus a little bit, I think, from some of the retailers and gives them a chance to reboot lines and reboot what they're doing. So there is a good opportunity to get some life back into some vendors' lines.
Yeah, we've got Hasbro doing their Fan First Wednesday on May the 4th as well. So there's going to be interesting stuff, as always, coming out of that. I'm sure there'll be plenty of fans talking.
3 repaints and 1 video game figure with 1 new part. And they'll all be exclusives to somewhere. And everybody will complain about them. And yeah, that's what Hasbro announced.
They may well surprise you with something from Kenobi.
That'd be nice.
I'd put more money on something being from The Mandalorian Season 1 or Clone Wars Season 7, Brian.
A Rancor?
No. No. I'd go a character from Clone Wars Season 7 from like 3 years ago. I wouldn't go anything from Kenobi at all from Hasbro.
What a bitter retailer.
I know.
No, just the way Hasbro are at the moment.
Could shock you. Could shock you.
In a month's time, Lego have the N1 Naboo Starfighter coming out from from the Book of Boba Fett. The grey stripped kit bashed one.
Yeah.
That's coming out in a month from Lego. And I saw a post on social media the other day that one of the people who does reviews had their review copy arrive already of that.
Wow.
So Lego are on it. Other companies are on it. Hasbro.
Mark, save Hasbro's reputation somewhat. If they could come up with a release for May the 4th, it would cause you great delight. What would that release be?
The Rancor from the end of Book of Boba Fett will be cool. I think Hasbro are caught between two stools in the sense that they've got a massive vociferous fan base that likes to talk about the content that's coming out. And Disney and Lucasfilm, they can only make what they're asked to make. You know, it's not like Hasbro can look at every project that's coming. They half the time they don't even know what's coming, like everybody else. So, you know, it's a tough one. It's tricky to know what they're supposed to do, how they're going to play it. We're getting talk in the chat now. Hi, Phil. Hi, Paul. Good to see you guys. Phil, we will go for that beer soon, I promise. So it's tough. I'd like to see that Rancor. I think that'd be cool. The Star Wars Connect Rancor from the end of Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them announce the Kenobi figure that we've seen in the trailer and we've seen on the cover of magazines. I'd like them to announce the Kenobi figure and say it'll be out before the end of the season.
Okay.
Because that's what they
they've started doing a bit of lines along the comic front, with some of the comic packaging. Anything you would like to see in that line there at all? Because obviously comics is my thing. Is there a character that's in the comics at the moment that you think deserves an action figure?
A black Boba Fett, because Diamond have already done the bust. They just repainted it black without anyone realising what it's from. I'd like to see a Cam Kennedy Boba Fett figure because that was always missed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All you got to do is paint it funny blues, greens, and turquoises, and you got a Cam Kennedy Fett.
People always shouting for Kitster.
No.
Mr. Bateman throwing the one out there. Tales of the Jedi. Would you get Tales of the Jedi comic characters in there? But obviously, we now officially know there's going to be a Tales of the Jedi animated shorts. There's going to be a panel on that celebration. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to tie in with what came under the same title in the comics, but could well be. You're going back the years there, obviously.
Just a couple.
Yeah, it's way back, isn't it? They're pushing 30 years for that now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Scary thought.
It's there's such a lot of content as well, Tales of Jedi, in terms of designs. It would look great as an action figure, which would be new molds.
Yeah. I'd like to see a couple of visions done by them.
Paul's saying there he's heard that the Tales of Jedi animated in the comic series are not going to be related.
So they're just taking the title of it, are they?
Yeah.
They've run out of titles. What was the one-shots they did with like Mace Windu and stuff? Were they just called Jedi? They weren't Tales of Jedi, were they?
They were just Jedi.
They were just Jedi, weren't they?
Yeah.
Who knows? I'd like to see some Star Wars Visions figures from Hasbro, but I don't think that's going to happen because Bandai have done a couple.
Yeah. I mean, there's more Vision stuff coming. I think it's coming to one of the Japanese monthly magazines. They're doing an adaptation of some of the episodes of Visions, and they're doing Mando season
Mandalorian
1.
as well, next month, May 25th. I won't try and pronounce the name of the magazine, but if you go to fantatracks.com, we've got it up there in the news.
Big Gangan Monthly.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
You've gone for the English translation, Mark. That's a pure show.
I have, yes.
Easy Hasbro figure to do. Pelimoto's X, the Jawa, as an action figure.
Yes. With the furry arms.
Paul's in there. Star Wars Tales would be a good show. And that's the kind of thing I would like. Just literally a Star Wars Tales show where you've got a different story of the week every week.
Good shout. That's a really good shout.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, anthology type show, yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. Anything else from May the 4th? We're not expecting announcements, I don't think, this year. Celebration too close.
Have there, really? I mean, I think a lot of people are waiting until May the 4th to announce it.
Yeah.
Funko will announce some pop of something or other.
Yeah.
Evening, Mr. Middleton. We were just discussing your new shop. How'd it go, dude?
And let's move on from talk of May the 4th to Star Wars Celebration. The panels were all announced this week across the main stages. A lot of the panels getting streamed to the other stages as well, which always gives you the hint of how popular or how important that panel is going to be as well.
We've all been in that arena, and it's absolutely massive, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It is a big room, yeah.
It's slightly smaller than Chicago's room, by like 5,000 or something, but it is a big, big venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a panel amongst the announcements that grabbed your eye?
Bad Batch Season 2 panel, because I don't think it was officially announced Bad Batch Season 2 was coming anytime soon. Or even announced it was happening. Was it?
I'm not even sure if it was properly announced. I think everyone kind of had the idea it was coming July, I think, weren't they? Everyone kind of had it in their head.
Yeah. Kind of, okay, there's more story to tell here, but it hasn't had a proper announcement of Season 2, and this panel was like kind of the first thing.
It's a little bit like the Book of Boba Fett, and it hasn't had a Season 2 announcement. I kind of wonder if that's being held for Celebration just to give them something new to announce in part of the TV slate, because I'm not really expecting new announcements surrounding TV content at this point in time.
No. Maybe the Mando show, maybe the Droid show, maybe the
Droid Tales, I think, could get some platform at Celebration.
Do droids have tails, Brian?
Well, droids shouldn't have anything. They should be pulverised into small pieces of metal. I do remember being at Celebration when Star Wars Detours was announced as well, and that was a huge thing across the whole of the show.
Yeah.
So
very true.
I remember opening the programme and seeing the advert, taking a photo, going, "Oh, this must be the new show with Seth Green."
Yeah.
Posting it, everything. What the hell's that? So it's Detours. What is it? Don't know.
Arguably, the last time you would have seen George Lucas talking Star Wars and being happy on a stage.
Yes. And was it James Arnold Taylor got brought on in a straitjacket or something?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I remember them all sitting at the front of the stage watching it as they sort of ran sort of like footage from it. It looked great.
Yeah. And that auditorium was tiny, wasn't it, in comparison to what we have at other celebrations?
Yeah.
That was Orlando, wasn't it? Was that Orlando?
That was Orlando. It's right north of the building. I had to walk miles to get there. It was this sort of small theatre that probably only hold maybe a couple of thousand people.
Started queuing at 1:30 in the morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Happy days.
To watch a cartoon?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I know. It was purely because George was going to be there. And it was a case of pay $150 a night for a lovely 4-star hotel across the road or sleep in the pavement in Orlando. So slept on the pavement.
I didn't go to that.
No?
No, didn't go to that panel.
Shame on you. I thought you were an animation fan.
I am, but I don't know why I didn't go. I think I went up too late and then couldn't get in or something. I don't know.
Huge focus of Celebrations, obviously centered around the Disney Plus content. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau have obviously got panels. They did a great job at Celebration in Chicago. What are you wanting to hear from them? Are you wanting to hear from them purely about what's come already and get more detail on that? Are you hoping to get some hints as towards Mando Season 3, if there's going to be a Book of Boba Fett, what's happening with Ahsoka?
All the above. I mean, it'd be interesting to hear their thoughts on how Seasons 1 and 2 have gone, because we haven't really had the chance since Chicago. And like you just alluded to, their panel before was really good. I mean, they were great together on stage. So just to watch them bounce off each other will be fun. Thank you for that, Paul. It'd be nice to know. You've just said it. It'd be nice to know if we get the Book of Boba Fett Season 2. It'd be nice to know how far Ahsoka is. Never fails to impress, does it? It'd be nice to know how far away Ahsoka is. Any word? I mean, I think they've just kind of put a pin in Legends of the, Rangers. Oh, what's it called now? Tales of the New Republic. What's it called? What's that show that?
Tales of the Jedi.
No.
No,
The New
the
Republic
Rangers
show.
one.
Oh, Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah. I
Rangers
keep
Republic.
thinking that Babylon 5 thing. But you know what I mean? That show, whether or not they've sort of pivoted and put another character in Cara Dune's place, we assume it was going to be Cara Dune. How they're going to play it, or I think there could be quite a lot come out of that panel. But I think the big fun will be just watching those two bounce off each other. So
Yeah.
I think Phil puts out a great comment there in terms of the reach of Star Wars and the different generations. And you've obviously got the new sort of fun galactic pals as well, like just now.
I'm
Which,
enjoying
again, caters for another age group.
Dear Mattel, the plushes you have done so far that you've shown the pictures of are lovely. Give me a bloody baby Gamorrean. Because the Gamorrean guard, there was completely nothingness, but just like, I want a baby Gamorrean guard toy. I'm having one of them. But they haven't done it. I want to see John and Dave just talk future.
Yeah.
Really. Because that panel's a bit of a weird one. It looks like that panel's talking about all the TV shows, not just one.
Robbie, I've got so much content, forget the name of the titles.
Yeah.
We've also had so many things cancelled that it just runs from one cancellation to the next.
Yeah. I want them to talk about the shows we know that are coming. I don't want to talk about anything. I don't want any announcements from them about anything else. Because we know Ahsoka is coming. We know that's happening. We know Mando.
I think that'll be for D23 though, won't it? Announcements. This is for what we know is coming. I think Celebration. It feels like D23. That will share all the things.
They made a strange kind of announcement of Lucasfilms coming to Celebration, which was bizarre. Is that a hint that we might get some Willow news, maybe some indie news, or does that not belong in Celebration anymore? What do you think?
It should. They don't do an indie celebration. They'll never do a Willow celebration. So it's the place to do it if you're going to do it.
They might do a Willow celebration, Mark.
Just a little one.
Maybe a small event.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, there's every chance Warwick will be there, isn't there? Because it's Celebration, so it makes sense for him to come out and do some sort of Willow presentation. So
I'd like to see Warwick back doing panels because he's always done a great job.
Yeah. If he and they
it gets worse. Lucasfilm needs to deliver something, I think, in terms of indie. We're kind of all seen so much of it being here in the UK and it being in the papers throughout the film and when we're going from location to location. So I kind of expect something along that lines.
Panel, yes.
Yeah.
Even if it is literally, hello, I'm Warwick at the set of Willow. We're filming though. It's great. Blah 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 blah. Here's a look at a bit of a set and be done with it as that. That'd be fine by me.
It's also a good chance for Harrison to come out and get a bit of a crowd pop in the opening morning of the first day.
I think Harrison will send a video message at most that'll have been recorded. But yes, I know it's called Star Wars Celebration, Neil, but you'd like a message from Harrison, wouldn't you?
It's a good point. I mean, there's enough Star Wars news to keep the whole 4 days buzzing, but I don't know. I just think Lucasfilm as an entity, I've got to kind of let the world know that they're not just Lucasfilm isn't just Star Wars.
Yeah.
You say, it is indie, it is Willow and stuff. So I think just as part of a larger panel, just as part of that Lucasfilm, whatever they call it, panel, wouldn't hurt to, they're not going to give you the indie title at Star Wars Celebration. That's going to be at D23 or somewhere like that. But just some sort of mention or, like you say, a little video package or something would make, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. I'm sorry I can't be there. I don't want to be. But looking forward to seeing you all next year in my indie film that I've got this in my frame
last year
once. Yeah, that's taken absolutely forever to make. Yes, definitely another movie announcement and a concrete one, not a pie in the sky one.
Yeah.
I don't ever want more announcements. I'd rather have an announcement. They've got it all rocked in and concrete and ready to go, and they're filming it. I'd rather film announcements were kept secret until they're making it or close to shooting, rather than
And
Days.
if you like your Star Wars content, Star Wars Fun Day in Blackburn in the UK, tickets sales close tonight at midnight.
There's a load of Star Wars get there and us three idiots, so you can come and meet us three idiots. What do they get? They meet one of us, Mark.
They get one of these lovely. I don't know how cameras work. These lovely big badges. Look, the closer to the camera it gets, the bigger the badge gets. So all you got to do is come up and say hello. Anybody in a Fantha shirt, just show that you follow Fantha Tracks on social media, or comment and like and share and all that malarkey, and you get a lovely badge. And nails there, so can't have everything.
Yeah. Just you missed a message here, but Mr. Bateman suggested we've got Andor footage incoming, which we're kind of all hoping for. One of the most expensive Star Wars productions Andor's turned out to be. I think it's going to run for 12 episodes. And by the time it's released, they'll be started on season 2. We want to see a trailer at least, I think.
Yeah, at least a teaser. And not a Rogue One teaser with just the Death Star and a bit of tree. An actual proper teaser.
That's definitely coming. And next Saturday you'll see coverage from us on the set of Andor, because we're all visiting, aren't we?
Yes. Fingers crossed.
Gonna get a 99.
Gonna get a what?
A 99, Brian.
Okay.
And the parking ticket. Yeah.
Secret footage from a secret location coming next Saturday.
Live.
Fantha's live.
Keep a lookout on Fantha Tracks Facebook page next Saturday then.
Yeah. We're out and about and doing shit together again at last. Ooh, don't swear.
There he is, live, the first bleep of the show.
We need a bleep. I don't have a bleep button. I should have.
We do.
And you've got me on.
What kind of buttons have I got?
Where's that 10-second delay?
I can sound it out. A round of applause. There we go. We'll use that. Andor, got big expectations for. I don't know if it's too early to see something from The Mandalorian. Maybe a little bit behind the scenes from last season would be enough there. I'd like to see an announcement for Book of Boba Fett season 2. I know we had mixed feelings on the first season, but I think it warrants a second season.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt's more in place to speak about Fett than me, but I'd say I think it was such a mixed reaction to season 1 of Fett. Some people loved it. Some people were quite ambivalent towards it. Some people didn't like it at all. It was a real mixed bag for me. When it was great, it was really great. When it was average, it was really, really average. So I think a second, more consistent season. I think the real acid test is Deborah Chow directing all of Obi-Wan, because you got complete consistency throughout that whole 6 episodes. Yeah. I think if that works, that might be the route they take going forward. One person's vision. It's a longer movie essentially with one director at the helm.
Vision, yeah,
exactly.
And Paul's making a similar point just there on Andor, 3 seasons and done, which I like when a TV series sets its own
agreed
finish, and it works towards it. You've seen it just now in Better Call Saul, if you're a big fan of that. That they were able to set quite a while back when it would finish, and so they've been building up to that point. So I think Andor's going to benefit from that.
It's a trilogy, isn't it? 3 seasons is a trilogy, isn't it? That's more Star Wars you ain't going to find, are you?
Yeah.
Opening of Fett season 2. Carry on from where you left on season 1. The Rancors running around Mos Espa and Mos Pelgo, smashing everything up, and batters the pants out of the 3 pillocks on Vespers, wipes them off the face of you go back to square one and start again nicely.
That's Matt's review of season 1 Book of Boba
and
Fett.
what would be the name of the ship he'd be flying when he blows up the Vespers?
The Crest of Razors. I don't know. No, which panel are you looking forward to most at Celebration, Mark? I know the one I
am. There's a few. Anthony Daniels is always funny, and I'm looking forward to McDiarmid talking, because obviously we haven't heard him talk about Rise of Skywalker yet. But what?
The Star Wars locations around the world, obviously.
Yes.
That one. That one. Yes, of course I'm looking forward to that, Matt. Yeah, I am.
You're going to attend, are you?
You were just building up to it.
Do I get a startup? Or any kind of bribery?
Not part of the collecting track.
Okay.
It's bigger than that. It's on the university stage at 5 p.m. on Thursday, 26th of May.
Oh, very good.
I
Very
know.
good. Nice.
Hosted by Jerry Beckett and myself and a couple of other guys. It's going to be great.
Yes, it will be great. Looking forward to that. And just cheap plug. Oh no, I can't show that yet, can I? I'm not allowed to show that yet, am I? But anyway, Making Tracks. I nearly did something I shouldn't have done then. Making Tracks. We're on the podcast stage on Saturday at 2 till 3. So it's me and it's Matt and it's Paul Naylor, Troublemaker in the comments, and Greg and Carl as well. So there's 5 of us causing havoc. Talking all sorts of nonsense for an hour. And I haven't told anybody else, we've got a special guest coming on, which I'll announce on the site at a later date, and I'll tell you guys offline. But we've got a very cool guest coming on, very relevant guest. So
That's
Ewan
special.
McGregor.
You don't even know about it.
Ewan McGregor will be coming straight off his panel, straight onto the podcast stage with Dave Filoni and John Favreau.
Yeah.
No, Brian, I'm going to get you to walk up the road to the RAF station, tap on his brother's door, and say, "Can you do us a solid?"
And all we want is a presentation of Ewan's wedding photos.
And all we want is for them to ride in on the Book of Boba Fett Vespa,
Yeah.
do a circle
Johnny
round the
Borman,
podcast stage and back out.
Yeah.
That's the one. Ewan doing the wrong way round on Space Vespers.
The wrong way.
Ewan and Charlie on the blue and pink Space Vespers, the wrong way round.
Going back to Celebration on the TV, Ahsoka. We haven't had official casting news beyond Ahsoka. Do we expect maybe that'll drop at Celebration? Maybe see some artwork?
I'd like to see them for that, because that must be close to filming now. That's got to be
May, June.
Right.
And it's shooting at the same stages that Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett shoot up.
Right, so if they're doing that, if we're doing that, I'd say they'd bring some of the cast out. Because
they're saying about Ewan's missus is in it, isn't she? Mary Elizabeth Winstead's supposed to have been cast in it. That's right. The scuttlebutt. So if he's there and she's possibly there, I don't know. She could be off filming other stuff, but who knows? Makes sense.
Ewan's like, I've done my bit. Dave, give me wife some work. So I don't have to. Give it a balance, mate.
Other shows, Lando, we've kind of mentioned. Acolyte, do we expect anything maybe further on that?
It feels a bit too far out. I don't know. I mean, I'm hopeful that we get a Celebration next year, and I'm hoping it comes back to Europe. So, Tiz was. That would have been perfect if it spelled Tiz was with an S instead of a Z. Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe a bit early for Acolyte, but like I say, if we do get Celebration next year and it is back in London, which we all hope, well, certainly the UK contingent hope it might be, then I think you'll probably hear more about it then. But yeah, maybe we know it's coming, don't we? There was all sorts of rumours, nothing substantiated, but all sorts of rumours flying around. Yeah, maybe.
Anything else TV related? I don't expect anything new to be announced at Celebration. It feels like an update rather than...
a panel that Leland Cheese on, and in the announcement for that panel, it did say animation. So whether they're going to do another Lego Holiday Special or something with Lego.
There's long been...
if he wasn't doing some animation with them, because he's worked on that with them.
There's long been a rumoured High Republic-based animation in the works. We kind of mentioned possibly a more Visions as well.
They're going to announce High Republic Wave 2, Phase 2, whatever they're calling it, aren't they?
It's announced. Yeah, it's announced.
But they're going to do a Cavan and that are all there doing a panel for it, because they're all announced as being there.
Yeah.
That's on a Saturday evening, I think.
Is it?
I think so. There's certainly one of the publishing panels is...
Yeah, there's a Del Rey panel on its own. There's also a High Republic panel on its own.
Tracks panel, isn't they?
Right.
They'll all be at the Making Tracks panel, Mark, so nobody's going to turn to that one.
Obviously, yeah. We're just going to drain the convention centre.
I'm not. You can.
Move on, Brian. Move on.
Yeah, move on. Let's move on from Celebration, because I'm not going. Sad. Sad face. Obi-Wan Kenobi is right on the horizon. I criticised it a few weeks back about there being a lack of updates after the teaser came out. and they seem to have sort of flooded us a little bit over the last couple of weeks with more interviews and teasers and whatnot. Why don't we throw up the trailer whilst we're talking?
Another one.
Well,
That really short one that's just bits of the previous one.
that one. We'll throw up this one.
The full one. Yeah.
Yeah, the full one. Whilst we're talking Obi-Wan, why not?
Love it.
Your thoughts in terms of what we've heard on Obi-Wan so far and the direction you think it's going, and what's your kind of general feelings ahead of its release?
Chatting with customers coming in the shop, I think it's going to mess with everybody's head canon.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest danger. Everyone's got their own conceptions of what happened between 3 and 4, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. It's going to muck around with people's head canon of where they think that's going to go. Because a lot of people don't think Ben and Vader should ever meet again. And that bit of somebody put a picture up of a header card at a toy store department or something. And part of the key art was them fighting. Yeah. So whether we revisit that fight, because we've now seen we can do flashbacks in Star Wars TV, or whether they will meet again, who knows? But the headcanon of people is they shouldn't. Ben went to Tatooine, dropped off Luke, sat and watched Netflix, watched The Boy from Afar. Is what everybody's headcanon is until A New Hope.
Yeah.
Or the Jabba. So who knows? We'll see. I think
the good thing about A New Hope was when you look back at it, and I'm glad we got Paul Bateman here because I think he'd probably agree that A New Hope was, because it's the only film that really can stand on its own without any other film around it. It's a self-contained film in essence, because George didn't know it was going to be the mega hit it was to do sequels. There's something beautifully vague about a lot of what's said in Star Wars. It doesn't go granular like now. Every novel, every book, every comic, that somebody pulls a gun out and somewhere they'll tell you what type of gun it is and blah blah blah, and they'll go into all out into the weeds on detail. And Star Wars doesn't need that. There's a nice vagueness about it, which is more sort of real world. And A New Hope's the most like that. And so I think a lot of the things that are said in Star Wars between Ben and Vader, for example, you can read other ways. And this is still 10 years before they clash on the Death Star. It's still a long time ago as far as they're concerned. Anakin's still a guy in his 30s at this point, So I think there's enough vagueness that they can work in all these other elements. And if they're smart about it, then, we're in for a ride, aren't we?
Just a thought. Will we have Guy Henry reprising his role as Tarkin?
He's up for coming back. He did say he was up for coming back, so
no more,
great if he was.
No more Casualty or Holby.
Holby, yeah. Yep. But could he reprise the role as Tarkin in it? Because that'd be brilliant. They've got the Tarkin in the CGI already.
Paul mentioned there's a chance of a second limited series Obi-Wan. They've kind of hinted at the fact that they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And we also had in the past month Liam Neeson say that he wouldn't come back to do Star Wars unless it's a film. So that's basically a confirmation that he's in Obi-Wan as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. He just did Derry Girls, for goodness sake, on Channel 4. So there's no way. There's no way he's not coming back.
There's a question there. Hoping there's going to be a live stream during Celebration. We'd love to see the Obi-Wan panel. They're being live streamed to the other stages, which is a good hint that they're going to broadcast them out to the public. Yeah. Possibly, in the way they've done it in the past, is to switch off certain aspects to those watching at home.
Yeah, there'll be exclusive stuff you can only see there, but you'll get the bump for the panel, and all the majority of it will be streamed. I can't see why after the last, how many celebrations they streamed it at?
4 or 5, isn't it?
They were all sponsored, that's the thing, and we haven't had the sponsors announcement. It was Verizon, I think, the last one. And the one with the little lizard things. Geico. There you go.
Geico. Well done. Yeah.
Neil's comment there. And when I see Neil's name there, Details is coming to Star Wars Fan Fun Day as well.
Brilliant. I think this is first ever signing as well.
I think you're probably right, yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And Charlotte Louise is coming as well. So good guest.
I think that's her. I don't know if she's done one, but I'm pretty sure it's Dee's first ever signing.
Yeah. I'm 99% sure you're right. In terms of Obi-Wan again, we've seen a a lot of interviews and a lot of people commenting on the fact that we're going to be excited to see what Ewan does with the piece. So it feels like it's going to be a big character piece, and Ewan's going to get his acting chomps into it.
Yeah, he made some comments in that total film piece, which you'll be able to read on Fantha later because I'm posting it later, where he basically says, and I think people are reading too much into this, he said he enjoyed what he did in this one season as much as everything he did in the prequel trilogy. And some people have been taking that quite snarkily to say that he enjoyed it more because it's not George writing it and yada yada. I didn't read it like that. I think he's highlighting the quality of what he's done in this. He's not besmirching what he did before. I always thought that for him, the process of making it was the chore, because it was just swathes of green and blue and it was a headache. Whereas this is stagecraft and it's quite different. So I think making this was probably a much more pleasurable experience in that sense. He always seemed to struggle with the green and blue screen and such, but I don't think he was knocking the writing. It'd be interesting to see if he does come back to it, because Kathleen Kennedy said they'd had discussions. He said today, "Oh, here I am chasing Disney again. I'm open to doing more." So I think give it 2 or 3 years, they'll come back and do another special event limited series. Then you're only 7 years away from A New Hope, and Ewan's the right age for the character now. He's sort of in sync with the character's age, which is very sensible and clever. So,
Halloween special, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a ghost.
With Kangaroo.
Yeah.
Is there something that you want to see happen in Obi-Wan? We've all got this kind of head canon. My head canon was very much that he was a hermit and he wasn't really involved in it very much, and he was on almost like a personal pilgrimage, and that's kind of getting blown out of the water because he's going to go off world and go on an adventure and have fights and all sorts. So I'm coming to just having to park my whole head canon and just go with the show and judge it based on the story. But have you guys got something that you've wanted to see from Obi-Wan in that era?
Go on, Matt.
I don't want to see any more from Obi-Wan until the first episode drops. I don't want to know anything else about it. I don't want to know anything about any future episodes until they drop. I don't know what I want to see from it. I just want to see not too much. I don't want to spoil it like I did with Boba Fett and give him too much to say and do. I want it to be quite reserved as a show. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, fairly low key.
Yeah.
I want to see the interaction between Obi-Wan and Yoda. I definitely want to see if there's any contact and sort of involvement with Bail, because they're the three really that make this thing work. And mentioning Liam Neeson, sorry about all the coughing, guys. Sorry. Mentioning Liam Neeson, I do want to see Yoda sort of tease it up at the end of Sith about communing with Qui-Gon and I'll teach you how to do it. So I'll be interested to see how far down the line, 10 years after or 9 years after Sith, how far down the line that has got. So there's lots of little character things and interactions. It'd be very interesting to see what the relationship's like with Owen and Beru. So it's lots of little things, and I really, really do want to see. And this takes me right back to Phantom Menace with Kitster got mentioned earlier in jest, but with Kitster and Anakin and Wald and all those characters, the kids on Mos Espa. I want to see Luke and Biggs and Cammy and Fixer, and I want to see those kids playing at Toshi Station. That's a scene I would love to see.
Yeah.
What about characters from the Book of Boba Fett? Can you expect any of them to crop up in Obi-Wan?
What, a young Peli Motto?
Why not? That's a good shout. That's a really good shout.
I don't know.
What about the twins? What about the Hutt twins? What about Jabba? Could you involve some of them?
I don't want to
Jabba
see.
feels. Yeah.
I don't want to see set pieces, car chases, and things like that of Kenobi on Tatooine doing a car chase like we had in Book of Boba. I don't need to see things like that. It's not, to me, in my head, not that kind of show. Yeah, I'd love to see that, Neil. I want him to be a crazy old...
And there's a good chance that the character Owen gets a good stint in this show purely based on the acting chops of the actor that's behind him.
Yeah. I want him to garner that crazy old wizard thing from what he's been doing on Tatooine all that time. That makes complete sense.
But I also wonder how much of this is a cover, because a lot of it was a front for Luke, wasn't it? Luke's the diamond that's being protected. So obviously Owen has his thoughts on Luke's upbringing, and Baru does, and Ben does, and you know what I mean. I think that's what Neil's alluding to. Really, it's that dynamic, isn't it? How they get to the situation we find in A New Hope, and I don't think they're going to give the farm away in this first mini series, because, like I say, it does feel like they're going to come back to it and do more. So they've got to sit. Solo, for example. You felt like they gave away too much in that first Solo film. You know, you had hand meet Lando, you had hand meet Chewie, you got the Falcon. All the things you wanted to see, you got in that one film, and I kind of wish they'd held some of it back. I hope they don't give too much of the nuts and bolts of all these relationships away, because there's really, when you think about it, Tatooine, those relationships around, those few characters is fascinating. It's pivotal to Star Wars.
Yeah. I don't want Ben to interact with Luke at all. I don't think that should happen. But I do think he'll interact with Owen or Baru or both, when they're off going down to the market to get their weekly shop. Kind of thing. I think he will interact with them, but I don't think he should interact with Luke at all.
Not much. Very little. He needs to be the mystery man on the ridge, doesn't he, Ben, to Luke, until he meets him in A New Hope. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Obi-Wan at the cantina in Mos Eisley, chatting with the barman, talking about how much they hate droids and how they've never owned droids. That's my wish.
Droid Hate, a series by Brian Cameron, directed by Brian Cameron, starring.
We're not going to see the roof painted, but we can see him buying the paint.
Bit of B&Q. That's a good shout, Rob. That really is. Luke just painting in. Stay in the lines, Luke. Stay in the lines. That'd be
Stay in the line. Yeah.
It's the aspect, I guess, is that before meeting Obi-Wan, Luke was completely unaware of his Force abilities, so you can't really have that first discovery that Luke's got a talent or anything like that. I don't feel like, so it feels like Luke's going to be very much seen from a distance rather than interacted with, I would think.
Yeah. And an average kid, isn't he? You know he can fly his Skyhopper. He can fly. He probably hasn't got his Skyhopper at this point, but he can fly driver speed and such.
Oh, do you know what I want to see? That other Lars speeder. The pointy one in the garage.
Oh yeah.
The other Lars land speeder. I want to see that one. That's got to be put into it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing outside Mos Eisley Cantina that space pod that's there flying. Stuff from New Hope. Yeah.
I think the danger we've got as well is that there's probably not a lot of it going to be based on Tatooine either.
No.
Is Tatooine going to bookend it?
Yes. No, it's all be on Tatooine.
You think?
It should be.
I think we spent a lot of time on Tatooine lately, and we love Tatooine. It's a fascinating planet, isn't it?
Yeah, I hate these things that just take the whole Tatooine thing and make it a thing constantly. Anyway, carry on. Good Morning Tatooine's live here Sunday evening.
Good chat.
Look at John Jackson Miller's book, Kenobi. I think it should be a lot like that, and I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That was a proper on the front edge of the frontier western sort of thing, wasn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
One Iopi town. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, in terms of not a lot of it being Tatooine, that's kind of where the trailer hinted that there's going to be an aspect of a storyline, which we won't get into in terms of spoilers, but I think everybody knows that the reason why Obi-Wan's going to go off-world, and so it kind of hints at the fact that that's going to happen quite early, and the main adventure is going to take place off-world.
Brand Inquisitors beating Twitch popping candy that's blowing their head up.
In terms of Vader, is it going to be Obi-Wan versus Vader in a flashback, or Obi-Wan versus Vader modern?
Modern.
Flashback, please.
Modern, I think. And I've got a feeling, I said this on Making Tracks the other day, when you get to A New Hope, again, it's all about bringing Luke into play, isn't it? It's all about putting Luke onto that sort of chessboard, and off he goes as the chosen one's successor, or whatever you want to call him. The New Hope, and everything's gravitates around him more than Leia's already out there. She's a senator. She's already on the stage. The fact that her Force journey starts later journey.
And she went straight, I would just like to point out, she went straight to conflict. No sanctions, nothing. No motions through the Senate to try and bring back his powers, nothing. She just a warmonger.
Good shout. I like that. That's interesting. Definitely follow up on that. But, you know, Luke, it's all about setting Luke up, isn't it? So I've got a feeling that if there is a fight between Luke and Vader, because we've seen in the comics how conflicted Vader's been, how the trouble he has with the Emperor, he's always trying to impress him, he's on the back foot constantly, and learning. I think Ben's going to hand him his arse if they fight. I really do. I think it could be quite a surprising battle. I don't think it's a given.
Might we see the Emperor in it?
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. I think that's why McDiarmid's there.
Because they're always going about Order 66, which was obviously take out the Jedi. Nobody ever speaks about the fact, and it's canon, Order 65, kill the Chancellor because he's taken too much power. So, you know, why did the rest of the Senate or the rest of the senators, because they were back in power, there was a Senate again by that point, not instigate an Order 65, take him out?
Interesting. I mean, this is the overhang of Order 66, isn't it? The Inquisitors and all that, the whole project to wipe out the remaining Jedi. This is the purge now, isn't it? It's what we used to read about in Dark Horse comics, wasn't it? The Jedi purge and all that. You know, this feels like you were finally seeing the real purge of it now. Because we saw the Night of 1,000 Knives, didn't we? In Revenge of the Sith. But now, you know, now we're getting the long game of wiping the rest of them out, which is great because it plays into Rebels and it's folding in animation, your much loved animation. So, you know, as a bigger picture, it's working. And I wonder how many things from animation and comics are going to get to and mentioned, because a lot of time you get exposition on various things, don't you? And it means nothing.
They kind of hinted at the fact that there'd be something would happen in the Obi-Wan series that would change your perception or change a quote in the original trilogy and change its meaning or make you think differently of it. Any hints or ideas of where that could be?
No, I'm hoping it's a really good bit of dialogue and it's a complete curveball for us that's been thought through thoroughly and properly.
Yeah.
And
I think it'll all reinforce that certain point of view line. Everything that we're going to see is going to reinforce what I told you was true from a certain point of view. That's what I think. Yeah. You'll come out of that thinking, wow, that's more true than ever now.
Yeah.
What if?
That's Marvel.
Yeah. What if Tony Stark was a zombie? Yeah.
What if the twins are not Anakins and they are in fact Obi-Wans? And it changes the line, I am your father. No, you're not.
Oh, dude. Wow.
There you go. That would blow it up. That would make the internet melt that day, wouldn't it?
No, that would make the internet melt. So much for pining for Satine. I mean, that would be... That would be... Wow. Paternity. Maury Povich comes on and says, you are the father. That would be quite interesting. Yeah.
That could be something else.
You just broke Star Wars.
Just broke Star Wars. Changed it.
Brian's
there you go. Lives his mind is blown. Didn't take much, did it? Look at that.
You never know. I can honestly see them doing something like that. In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Yeah.
There we go. Luke has at least 10 kids on Tatooine. I can see that. Can totally see that.
Yeah.
Bring on Jeremy, Kylo.
They all grew up to ride Vespers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul.
That's why they're Power Rangers. They've all got force abilities, just don't know it.
Yeah. And they're all missing limbs. Makes sense now. It all makes sense.
Luke and Pixar got the other two Megazords and they all combined to make a Megazord. Yeah. It's
dear.
And Brian, you didn't think we'd have enough to talk about for an episode?
No, I don't think. We've gone 51 minutes. I think we're doing well. Grogu's in everything. Going to be an Obi-Wan?
No.
Well, you
could have a flashback to when Anakin's killing all the younglings and Grogu's just standing in the corner, but you didn't see him because he was so small. Just off frame.
Yeah.
We've also seen the shot of Grogu sort of during the Order 66 execution. Maybe in Obi-Wan we'll see the opposite vision of that.
That's
Ben Kenobi
genuinely
watched and just
not a
about to
bad.
get chopped up.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. That's not.
I would like to know why they don't serve droids. I would like the truth exposed as to what droids are really like. It's a whole episode centered on how disgraceful droids
so much
are.
hate, Brian. So much hate.
Yeah, well, they're all droids constantly Googling tractors. That's all I'm saying.
What did your Roomba do to you?
Oh dear, you can't trust a droid. It's like
No?
just can't trust them.
Did
You've
your
got,
Roomba-
you've got C-3PO. Here we go. I'm going to go on a rant. C-3PO is supposed to be a protocol droid. When has he ever acted with any kind of decorum in any situation?
When he had a gun in his hand on in Attack of the Clones.
Constantly screaming, carrying on, talking, interrupting. There's no protocol in any of that.
We woke the beast here. Go on,
We
keep
have
going,
droids. It's the only place I feel comfortable is in Tatooine, knowing that there's a pub you can go to where they're not welcome.
You can go to Jabba's palace and there's a dungeon where they get rid of the bits.
See, there we go. It made someone laugh.
Only took 53 minutes. Well done.
Yeah. We've pretty much with the only droids in should be Britvic 55 and J2O. There we go. That's terrible. You guys have got to spend a whole week with Mr. Nail at celebration.
We know.
I know.
We know.
I had brown hair before I met Paul. It's going grey now.
Sharing a room at Blackburn with Paul next week.
Me?
Yeah.
Am I? Am I?
So.
Am I? Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
Queen size
Fair
bed,
enough.
you got
Yeah.
tail.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't Amber Heard on it.
Yeah.
Oh dear! I think on that note, we should probably look to end the show, shouldn't we? That's the best time. That's the best time to go.
Go out on a high.
Yeah. If you enjoy the content, come back next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Fancy graphic. And if you're on Facebook, do or do not like. There is no try. Guys, thanks for joining me this week. Monthly recap. We'll be back.
Next weekend, mate.
Normal. Good Morning Tatooine will return in 2 weeks' time because obviously next week we're at Star Wars Fan Fun Day, so there won't be a live show.
Yeah.
We may have content that we may put out next Sunday, depending on how things go this week. And look out for us, as Matt said earlier, look out for us live on Facebook. We're going to be live from one of the sets of Andor.
Yeah, I think we should do a live stream from there, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Thanks for joining me this week. And
Thanks, everyone.
everybody
Thanks for
else,
the
thanks for joining us. We'll see you all again soon.
Take care, boys and girls.